battery assault and run straight through the Drone Ranger, hoping to be able to slow down those right clicks, gets a little bit of time to get a healing salve off, and puts himself in the trees, hoping, praying that he'll be able to get a TP out, but that's just not the case. For turn 37 on the other side of the trees, finds him. NP not done just yet though. Look at this. SVG trying to set this one up. They're going to try and slow down Blink, lead him into the arrow. There's no escape here. MSS, he's going to come in too. SF dies the second time in this game as NP back-to-back ganks, both the top and mid lane.
Really good scout there by SVG, knowing that the SF's not in lane, therefore he's in the jungle. He's going to take 2 hits here on the courier.
Well, there's one punch. MSS, can he get the other? No. Tries to meet it, but smooth flying out.
And somebody paying really good attention there. Would have been a huge snipe, giving a lot of gold to, most importantly, Rubik and the Treant. Normally a little bit more gimped in terms of how much gold they have. But they're definitely using their hero's time very well, scouting out the SF gank there, and now just controlling the enemy jungle. Normally this doesn't even happen until the tier 1 tower is dead, but they did this earlier. The Treant invis just sets up so much with Batrider.
Faith Beyond gets another kill on the Rubik. Meanwhile, we're going to follow MSS as he's been given the early nature's guides by SVG's Treant Protector. And he's sitting invis behind this push of Wings. They've got both their supports as well as Shadow. Shadow very farmed, top net worth of the game so far, and he has his Omni Slash ready to go. But when Instant separates himself from the two of them, he becomes potentially easy pickings for the Batrider. Does what damage he can, but the Healing Ward is now coming in. As long as reinforcements are here, MSS can't go for this kill, and Innocence will stay alive. MSS caught by a small stun. They do have the Omni Slash. They're going to go for it. Open clip into the trees, and they've got him. Wings punish the offlaner for his attempt at a kill on the supports. NP, though, they're still going to try and line this one up. All of a sudden, with the invis pop out the arrow, they're going to still try and kill MSN, so they got him dead right. But now Shadow is right in the middle of 2 heroes with the spin. He's going to focus on 1437 right now, but he doesn't do enough damage. Faith Beyond's here with the battery assault. He's got level 6 as well. Amango is ready to go for the hook shot. If NP tries to leap away from this one, and Faith Beyond can follow, he's got the hook shot. He leans in, but he's got the damage with the raise as well. They get the kill over the top. Now Faith Beyond rides with the retreat. Blink though, he pops the ultimate, and NP caught by surprise by that one. The nuke damage is going to bring MSS low, with the extra bit of spin damage, not quite enough. MSS gets over the cliff, and with some sweet flying there on the Firefly, he will manage to get himself away from that danger zone. 6-6 now, as both teams walk away licking their wounds. 10 minutes in. It's been a very action-packed game so far, Kevin.
Looking a little iffy for both teams. NP almost losing 4 heroes there, but only 2 dropping on the benefit for them. In the meantime, Drow's just been pushing top, getting a tower, pushing creeps, and not being contested. So this is fairly good for NP, I'd say, as long as they don't lose too badly in any of these engagements.
1 nuke, 2 nuke. Make it a 3rd, or maybe some right clicks. Oh, he tries to go for that close range one, but NP's able to leap away in time.
Very scary. Nice rune to have in that kind of situation.
Definitely wouldn't say no to a regen right after a gank, that's for sure.
Again, they're rotating into the safe lane. They'd love to kill this Juggernaut. It's difficult, though. If Healing Ward comes down, counteracts any kind of damage they're looking for. And it looks like NP will rotate to the safe lane to pressure it now. Drow's in the area. Dragonlance with treads, it looks like. So very good damage. And they did a little bit of this yesterday, actually. Just sieging the tier 1 towers just with the Dragonlance range means that it's very difficult for Wings to defend it. They don't have the resources. They're not ready to take the team fights. The Warlock's not 6. The Lion's not 6. And until then, Wings is severely lacking damage.
So NP are just going to get a free push out of this one, rotating 4 heroes to the bottom lane. Drone Ranger and the crew will take that tier 1, and looks like Wings, they're going to try and pressure mid. 3 heroes rotating and abandoning their safe lane and abandoning that tower in exchange for some pressure on the mid lane in return. But the tower's already gone to the bottom lane, and Living Armor will repair the damage, the small amount of damage that Wings were able to pull it out. Now here comes the wraparound. NP smoke up after taking that tower. They're going to run at Faith Beyond here, but he's somewhere in the trees. Can they find him? A sticky napalm would show this one, but oh, what a hook shot. Managed to get the Cogs into 2. Shadow's looking to be able to follow this one up, but a Cogs acts as a natural barrier. He can't quite get there for the spin damage, and now the Moonlight Shadow will allow NP to be able to retreat. They're actually going to go and pick up Faith Beyond, see if they can get this quick kill pull into the arrow, but NP not in range in time. He still has the leap out, can get himself away from Wings as they're just trying to run at NP and get what he hears the kills they can. Oh, nice turnaround, Silence. That's a beauty. Maybe they can actually take down Shadow, but Shadow has enough HP. Looks at the Omni Slash, doesn't throw it out just yet. Blink goes to that ultimate, and NP have a little bit of loss of damage. They're going to try and blow up by NP, and they've got him dead. But Blink, he's going to lose his life in return. Pecker down by AY. He looks for the next one. That's Ice Ice. 3 down from Wings. NP win a very big team fight inside the Radiant jungle.
Dude, that turnaround was amazing. It looked so iffy for them. They wasted the lasso arrow follow-up, but all of a sudden they got there. They put the disable on the Clockwork. They kept him separated for the start of the fight. That was the big difference. And once Clockwork was dead, there wasn't a lot of Wings that could actually run after NP, at least when the Juggernaut was low.
And again, still having the chaotic offering available to them, Wings have not put use that big team fight ability. Maybe they can turn things around, but currently, as you can hear from the crowd, NP have taken an early lead in this best-of-3 series. Ice going to TP to the bottom lane. They actually managed to get a dust out. MSS going to be the target of Omni Slash and take down rather quickly. Faith Beyond, he knows he can go for more. He's going to be gusted back. He's hoping to be able to catch one of these supports with the battery assault, but just can't quite close that distance. Meanwhile, NB will take the extra shots on the mid-tier 1.
So even though they are occasionally losing their heroes, they're getting massive advantages from these movements. They're pressuring towers. Wings is trying to trade to at least get some offset of the fact they're losing their better tower, and NP can just late TP one hero and then over time heal it back up with the Treant. That means that any offset that Wings normally gets in a typical game is not here because of what Treant accomplishes and how early they're taking towers. So an occasional pickoff like that is not going to hurt them too much.
So in other words, if Wings want to be able to take one of these outer towers, they need to make a full commitment and take it down from 100 to nothing. Otherwise, that living armor will repair the damage, and that's what they're going to try and do right now. Shadow is even going to join them as he was farming up a bit in the jungle, but he will join Blink in right-clicking down this tower. NP not going to give it up without a fight. They've already popped the Moonlight Shadow. Wings have seen it, and they'll walk away, biding their time at 1437. He's going to find his initiation on Blink. They're going to bounce it black. Blink is target, but at the same time, facing the other man, jump with the Star Ranger. He's going to be able to take him out with a battery assault. A carry for a carry, maybe living armor. No, he's good. AY making a distance. Shadow hoping to be able to get a little bit of more, but he can't quite get there. And now it's Kite City for NP. They're going to be able to run down Baytheon as well as Shadow. Just a little smooth footwork there from NP. NP even picks up the extra kill in the back line. Innocent dies next to his own tier 1 tower. It seems nothing is safe for Wings as NP strike hard as soon as Wings try and go for that push in mid.
It was a beautiful initiation, the lift to throw into the lasso, and then 1437 with the stolen spin got massive damage on the SF, even with the rock stun. 2 spins that fight. I dare say that he did the most damage all across there, but amazing team fight from NP. Again, winning a team fight this time and getting a tower.
You can see the power of that Treant Protector as well. We talk about the tower repairing mechanism simply because it's so unique to the tree and the tree alone, but the fact that he was able to get the leech seed out on the clock, we're getting the heal directly to the Drill Ranger, and then also giving him a living armor is what saved him from what should have been just a clean kill for Faith Beyond, but the extra bit of sustain was enough.
And once they have to overcommit to killing the Drow Ranger there, and finally he's safe under his tower, he applies slows to the Jug that guarantees he dies as well. He may have just survived there if it wasn't for the Frost Arrows.
How many times in this tournament have we seen Wings down by a significant amount by 15 minutes?
That's a pretty big gold amount. It's absolutely not insurmountable though. Wings does some amazing things to get back in games, crazy unpredictable movements, and really solid showings to make your opponent think that they're where they aren't.
Wings, they have the opportunity. They have so many abilities. They've got great heroes to be able to scale out. Losing the early game is not the end of the world. It's going to be on NP to continue what has been a very strong showing by them, close out in a more perfect late game. We'll see. 16 minutes in, 8-13. Right now, our Drow Ranger is sitting at 9k net worth, and our Shadow Fiend is only at 6k, sitting neck and neck there with Eternal Envy.
And normally I'd say SF is going to way outfarm a Priest of the Moon, but the problem is that by the time the Ags comes out for Potom, he farms about as fast as a Shadow Fiend does. All of that extra AoE thing isn't going to be the case. You absolutely don't go on this. He's got an Invis. He's a little upset he got arrowed, of course, but the pressure remains on the other side of the map. No ulti from Morlock for 11 seconds.
NP showed himself at top, but he's also seen the Shadow Fiend, so NP feel comfortable going for a small push to the bottom lane, but it looks like SVG's been caught. That should be a free kill for Shadow, unless AUI and 1437 can stop this one. SVG, he gets a little bit of distance with the overgrowth, but Ice puts a real quick stop to that retreat with a finger of death. Blink, he's walking forward here. NP don't know this, but there's an invis, or do they? They've actually got a counter set in place, and Blink, he's sitting so far ahead that nobody from Wings can actually stop that kill. And NP, right counter ward at the right time. They're gonna pop that Moonlight Shadow and see if they can push and punish Wings for more.
That was very greedy from the SF. Remember, he got arrowed above? You can see his inventory. If you check to see if he has the invis, that's going to get NP to put sentries down if they didn't already have them down. So very greedy play from SF there, trying to start a fight in a great way. They picked off the Treant, but he's already up and contributing despite being across the map.
Yeah, very clearly NP had that information, laid down the counter ward for him, and as a result, they'll be rewarded with the tier 2 tower bottom lane and a great team fight. That's going to be a Shadow Blade now for the Drow Ranger. Talk about the Juggernaut and the SF and how they still need to be able to make this item progression going into the mid game, actually get those core items that's necessary for them to be able to dominate team fights. That Shadow Blade's going to make it so hard for them to be able to find the space as AUI will start crowding out the map.
Even for a hero like Clockwork, he's going to have to carry a dust now if he ever does go on the Drow Ranger. And he's got a Force Staff. He's got 2 big Clockwork counters. And if he transitions that into a Silver Edge and starts breaking passives or damage outputs for 5 seconds, if he gets the drop on either of these carries on Wings' side, it's almost for sure too little damage from them anymore.
Blink is also going to be trying to go for a Shadow Blade of his own. Meanwhile, Shadow not going to be going for the Shadow Blade. Contrary to his name, he's actually got Phase Boots, Ayasha, another 1,000 gold in the bank for now. Wings don't really seem to have too many places to farm. You can see them, multiple heroes grouped up near that mid lane. They're all staying pretty deep on the Radiant side of the map, and NP are free to split up and push out and be very farm efficient.
Yeah, they're just scared of the invis. If you look at how many sentries that Wings have across their jungle, I can see 4 or 5. They just want to make sure there aren't wards in the area, that they'll be able to see an invis hero if Treant Protector does use Nature's Guise. It costs them massive gold though, so if NP just doesn't fight for a bit of time, it could just be a giant gold advantage just from sentries alone.
Ward placed out by SVG, and he's also scouting both Innocence as well as Faith Beyond. That's one of the great powers. Riki, Treant Protector, only 2 heroes that could just go out, place wards undetected, but it seems like Wings did sniff that one out at least.
Yeah, they may have seen him wrap around the large cliff there. They're just going to push the wave here. Might as well. Wings constantly scared that NP is going to back off and take Roche, and this is just a testament to how they're farming the map. They'll put 1 hero to push the lane, but the others are farming jungle, so Wings will never know where the other 4 are.
Ice dead in 3 shots from AUI. Shadow will manage to make away as the arrow scouting one from Eternal Envy, hoping to be able to just get the lucky pick is not there. But still, the beginning of the Shadow Blade ganks has started for NP. Blink, though, has picked up his own Shadow Blade, so maybe he can still feel confident in pushing out. He can't afford to just play only a safe game, right? Wings do have to take certain risks given the net worth lead that NP has right now.
How do you feel about that Shadow Blade on SF, though? I feel like if you're in a losing game and you're not a hero like Slark, there's a possibility NP just is winning, buys a gem, puts it on bat, and then Blink is always going to have trouble using that item.
I think that absolutely could happen. NP could even just like 5-man take Roshan, and then there's no real good initiation from the SF either. There's plenty of problems with this Shadow Blade, but it seems Blink feels like it's his best way forward. All those towers, such high HP, the living armor is making sure there's no real push.
They damaged the top one though. It's pretty low.
Oh, yeah, it was already, it was all the way down to 1200 HP of 1300.
He was busy.
That's pretty much what most Wings have gotten so far, is maybe chipping the tower down to at most half health, and then there it is. They see the Shadow Blade, they pick up the gem just per your suggestion, Purge.
No, he may have to buy Quelling Blade, but he's going to go through and just burn all of the sentries in the Radiant jungle. As long as they control space and they have a show of force with enough heroes, Treant movements are not going to be valuable anymore.
And it does mean, in some ways, right, Wings have to have a plan, and they have to be able to fight NP, because the gem, it's going to just play a very active force in limiting map control for Wings, but it also can play an opportunity, right? If they win a team fight, get the gem into their own hands, then things can significantly start shifting around.
That's absolutely right. With Tree as well as Mirana ulti, 2 big invisible skills completely countered there. Bottom's got to be careful on the top lane. If he goes down and he doesn't have buyback, that's almost for sure a tier 1 tower falling, despite through tree heal. So NP finally going to make a show of force through the enemy jungle. All of their wards there have been denied, at least with sentries, so this is the moment where they start breaking them and replace their own observer wards so they can make good movement decisions, because right now they're playing blind.
Couple Invis heroes and a smoke even. NP walking on through. There are multiple heroes of Wings here at the top lane. They're trying to eat through this living armor that's been laid out. Eternal Levy and AUI are already in position to defend by themselves, but they may need some extra support since Isaac managed to find the initiation. They closed up Envy, and now they're going to be able to get the hook shot onto AUI as well. The two cores thought they could defend, but they just may be victims to the Wings push out as they get behind the tier 1 tower and claim both of those cores. NP not in a position to do anything to turn things around.
Worst case scenario there for NP, losing their 2 most farmed heroes, and AUI used his force to try to save the Mirana, but they still died. If he had a force of his own left over, at least he could have saved himself, but actually worst case there. And now Juggernaut's actually farming the Mirana, surprisingly, and that's all because of the sentry gold that Wings spent to deward their jungle. That gave them some safe jungle space for once. And then NP thought that maybe there was only 2 Wings heroes top. Instead, it was the whole team, and they get a great fight.
Yeah, we've gone from Shadowblade to almost a BKB now being completed for the SF, so he won't have to be as worried about the Mirana's heavy nuke damage, the Bat Rider's magic damage he puts out as well, even the silence from that Drow Ranger won't be as much of a problem. He'll have an easier time getting off that ultimate for the big team fights. It seems like NP, with that one small stumble, combined with the giant net worth lead that they have had in the past, has now been given up, and Wings start making a bit of a comeback. But we'll see. NP still have that gem, and they still have ways to be able to put the pressure onto Wings for some team fights. Even the Roshan is still available to them, but you can see it is always being scouted out by Faith Beyond.
On the bright side, they did steal the rocket, though, so that should give them even more vision advantage that they didn't have before. And they also have one great ward placed at the top ramp towards Roche, which means that if they do go for Roshan themselves, they'll at least have vision of non-smoked heroes. Might not be enough, though. Wings is looking like they're out farming their opponents. NP is just playing a little too roamy with about 3 of their cores. Really, it's just the Drow Ranger as well as Mirana farming, but Mirana's been dedicated almost entirely to split farm, trying to do the dangerous farm, pushing out the lanes that there may be a gank towards, and then it's just Drow Ranger farming. So that's not going to compete to the 2 to 3 heroes on Wings that are picking up neutrals right now.
Combined with the early lead that NP had, as well as the fact that Wings has some heroes that scale pretty well, it seems like their game plan is going to be mostly trying to survive and draw this game out, prevent the Drow Ranger pushes. So it's up to NP to really determine the tempo of this game. They're going to try and do Roshan right now and try and go for the pushes after, but Faith Beyond, he's already scouted that out with the rocket. He's got the hook shot ready to go. Roshan's going to be dying soon.
See if the Clockwork Saw. He's trying to block it with his hero since it's invis.
Make sure there's no opportunity to steal. That's SVG with the invis play. Meant to block out the hook shot, and Faith Beyond gets ripped apart by Eternal Envy and AUI. Now they look for more. MSS being distracting force against the 4-man. Wings managed to get ahead of that Earth Spike. Will not go down here, and AUI found his mark. He goes for Shadow. Unable to hold out of time, but it's stolen off these sides. And 1437 brings one down almost by himself. Finger of Death, and an ultimate drop by the SF. Even Warlock ultimate, and he's somehow still alive. He makes it to the back lines. And NP do not drop a hero in that team fight. They claim Roshan. They get 3 kills as Eternal Envy picks up the Warlock, and they get Aegis. NP, full recovery from them after a minor stumble in the top lane.
Just amazing play from SVG there. He knew that his opponents could see exactly when Roche was dead because of the rocket vision, so that's when he tracked to where Clock was going, blocked the hook, guarantees the Clock kill, and then they get to chase. Healing Ward was on cooldown, an amazing steal from 1437, and all of a sudden NP swings back into a huge lead.
Now NP pushing into the mid-tier 2s. I was going to ask you, Purge, when does NP need to be able to push a high ground? It seems right now they're going to be able to at least take tiers. When would you like to see them take a lane of rest? Like, in your head, what is the timer? Is it 35 minutes, 40 minutes? When do you say, all right, you should have gone high ground at least once by now?
I think they have the opportunity ready now for sure. They just used the Golem. This is a great teamfight opportunity. I mean, maybe getting a pick first would be wonderful, and it's possible they might delay this to try to keep 3 lanes pushed in and utter map control. They can always buy more items, really. Drow can be a comparable carry to heroes like Shadow Fiend and Jug, especially especially with this kind of a net worth advantage. He's 4,000 ahead of both of those heroes.
And they do have some pretty significant items that are coming up too. The Force Staff for the Bat Rider, not just versus the Clockwork, as we've seen the team actually prioritize that Force Staff. One's been picked up by 1437. AUI obviously has the Hurricane Pike, but also for him to be able to get an easier initiation. Whoa, nice play there, Jesus. Almost caught out, managed to blink away, just one step ahead of that arrow. Chipping away at that tier 3 though.
The range advantage, he just sits on the low ground, pinging away, his allies on the high ground providing the vision, but they've overstayed their welcome just a little bit. They could continue forcing that, but at some point, you gotta play it safe. Omni Slash back off cooldown. Really unlucky there for Shadow. It jumped to the Mud Golems rather than killing the Bat Rider. Just everything went bad in that fight.
Omni Slash is now back up. Not just for the Juggernaut, but for our Rubik as well. He's got a Force Staff and a Blink Dagger now. So he has a chance to get a great initiation. They don't have to rely on just MSS to be able to get the lasso in, pull back. That's not going to be only his burden, but 1437, he's going to be able to share the load as well. 11-18, it's 28 minutes into the game right now, a 16,000 net worth on the Drow Ranger. She is far away ahead of both the Juggernaut as well as the SF, who are sitting around that 12k area. They've got 2 minutes left for the Aegis. We'll see whether or not NP are going to go for that high ground push with this extra light that they have, or if Wings are going to catch them beforehand.
A small fish here for Wings with their 3 heroes. E-Blade picked up on Drow Ranger, very uncommon purchase, but why let Mirana have all the glory with that, right? You can be the one that sets up the combo, and she has higher agility anyway, so the initial nuke should actually hit quite hard.
Yeah, the Ethereal Blade is a great agility item. Most people think about it as just being able to burst down heroes like Morphling or Mirana, but it actually gives you a really good amount of agility. It's just a base item, and now he's got his own defensive ability against Omni Slash. So even if somehow the Juggernaut is able to get on top of AUI, he not only has the Hurricane Pike, but he also now has that Ethereal State he can apply to himself.
Good pickup if you want to finish a kill, that's for sure. Could be even Clockwork, for example. Got to be careful about Blade Mail, though. Not very strong against magic damage. And he's backed up from his allies. 2 Wings here still on the bot lane, trying to split push and get some advantage, but the tower is getting really low. It's nighttime as well, so he's got to take tower damage with this one.
Arrow goes out. A little bit of scout there from NP. Will not connect with anything. Good deny from our Shadow. Whoa! Force Staff, aggressive Force Staff, and push the AUI into the cause. They're trying to hold on to the hook shot, but a quick Force Staff out from AUI, and he'll actually take that melee Rax before Wings have the opportunity to do anything.
The 29-minute barracks, I'm going to say that's good for NP here. Definitely ahead of schedule, and just based on the fact that Wings didn't want to fight that just shows what the state of the game is. Wings knows that they have a low chance of winning this fight. It's better to give them the barracks, force them to back off, and try to fish for another kill like they did before with the smoke. They've got to win some fights. It's the best way to get back in the game.
Sitting inside the very dark jungle, NP waiting for Wings to poke their head out just a bit too far, get the pick that could allow them to be able to end this game. Wings do start pushing out, but they're heading towards the left side of the map, trying to get some vision down.
They get one ward. That's all they have for now. It may be not too long until they take that out, but they've got to be careful, especially with where the rockets are coming from. You can tell which area of the map Clockwork is. That should reveal that some of Wings are near the secret shop. So right now, NP's just holding up in the Wings jungle, trying to prevent them from entering that. It lets Wings get across the map, but most of their cores are actually still in the base. They don't want to get caught across.
I guess when you have that gem on the enemy team, you've got 2 cores that still need to be able to farm out. You can't just hold on to wards, right? Just because they have a gem. You need to be able to get some vision, some idea of what NP are up to, so you can get some farm on some of these cores. The only one who's really outside the base right now is Faith Beyond. It looks like he could be caught here by AUI. Starts setting up, the right clicks, managed to get August. Into the trees he goes. Faith Beyond looks for the TP out. Hurricane Pike looks for the nuke, but it's not enough. The Ethereal Blade that AUI recently picked up will not be the coup de grace. Faith Beyond gets back to base and creates some space for his team. As you can see, they immediately start pushing out mid, eager for any farm that isn't just inside of their own base.
Maybe a little underwhelmed with that E-Blade damage, but that was mostly the range off, blocking damage off the top before the magic resistance comes into play. So that would have done way more damage without magic damage block.
Eternal Envy using the Moonlight Shadow. Will run ice here, looks for the quick nuke. Oh, there it is, but he's already been caught by the Hex, and now Faith Beyond's here, but he's blown the hook shot. a leap away, gets Eternal Envy to safety. He's got the Blink Dagger back up, and he's thinking about pushing for more, seeing if maybe he can get an extra kill. The arrow goes out, he sees Innocence, he tries to kill the ward. Envy, that Blink Dagger's not gonna help him out anymore. 2 more seconds till the leap's up. Looks like he can just walk himself away as the SF not hitting real hard, especially against living armor.
Jug in a good spot though, he's gonna go for the Omni.
1437 gonna be slowed down to defuse a blade. He's got to blink up in a second. Someone's got to get the damage. They can't do it. Rubik away to safety. Now an arrow comes out. Ooh, almost skinning Shadow there.
Multi this.
NP, they're feeling confident. They're kind of corralling in. They managed to get the overgrowth to start things off. BKB is immediately a spin. They go straight for AUI. But the last is going to be a stop to blink. He's not going to be able to go for that. Draw Ranger top of the hex. It is going to be blown up by the combination of Ice and Shadow. Meanwhile, the SF licks off the ult, pushing back the rest of NP as they are unable to punish. Drow Ranger gets separated, isolated, and is forced to trade his life away for a Warlock. 1437 deep inside the base. Will manage to get his TP out.
Pretty good engagement there for Wings. They do still lose the Golem though. The Drow kill, maybe a little unexpected, but landing a disable and then doing Omni Slice during that time period prevents him from using either of his saves, namely the E-Blades. So great move there by Wings, good reading of his inventory. And that's the kind of stuff they need. That was a good fight. They're still getting some net worth advantage here, especially with the Maelstrom here on Jug. It's a cheaper version of the Battle Fear, really, and very good as well at killing heroes like Treant Protector with his armor.
Yeah, it's another instance, it's another proc of damage, right, against living armor, so one hit could take down 2 procs living armor.
Another amazing thing it does, it can just jump and disable Blink Daggers when people are expecting to initiate. That kind of unpredictability is something that the best players in the world do not expect, and it absolutely can change games. If only half of your team goes in, the other half gets disabled and expects to go in.
Wings, after that pick-off on the Drow Ranger, they're feeling a little bit more confident. Actually push past the river. You can see Shadow inside the Dire Jungle. Some of Wings push through mids. Even Faith Beyond is keeping that bottom lane from getting too close to their base. They are beginning to grind forward. But then again, so is NP. They're not actually too far behind in farm either. You can see still holding a 12,000 net worth lead despite that pickoff. There was no real big bump up in net worth for Wings just because NP holding so much territory to be able to farm.
Yep, and Drow Ranger picking up the Ogre Club, most likely going to be a Black King bar. That way he doesn't have to worry about that disable problem in the future. Also makes him very competitive against SF when they both pop BKB. So going back for basically 3 utility items on the hero, not so much damage, but staying alive is the name of the game when you're playing Drow.
It's all going to be up to our next Roshan, right? That's going to be the next climax in action. We have NP who want to be able to grab the Aegis for themselves and give them a nice safe push into the high ground, or at least safer than the alternative. 1437, nice reaction. Gets away, they're still trying to set up. Eternal Envy won't be caught by that Earth Spike. Faith Beyond tries to get a cog set, but the own's going to be slowed down by SPG as well. The nuke comes out, Overgrowth holding him in place, NP keeping their distance, will be able to nuke him from afar, and now they manage to get the initiation. MSS, hard initiation on a Shadow, pulls him back to the rest of the team, and now Wings every man for himself, but they're going to lose Warlock. It's only going to be our SF and a Lion who seem to survive through this team fight. The arrow, whoa! It got him. Eternal Envy nails him just before the TP out. Buybacks immediately coming out from Wings as NP have found their opening to potentially end this game.
I don't even think he had vision with that arrow. That was just a blind, let's catch somebody.
Yep.
And he got him. Just the initiation, the fact that Thieban was able to blink back after the initiation changed everything in that fight. NP was able to punish so many heroes. SF still up with his ultimate. Juggernaut still has his, but he's dead for 35. No buyback on him. This is the time to get their second racks, and when you're down by 2 racks, okay, they're going to play it safe.
They start pinging for Roshan, it looks like. Already the TP rotations have come out. It's rather late. They know Roshan guaranteed is up.
It's a good move.
So they're not going to take that risk. They're not going to try and go for that second lane of racks. They say, we've already forced buybacks. Let's play it safe. Let's play conservative. Let's just make our lead even bigger.
Yep, for 4 more seconds, Juggernaut is dead, and then he can teleport. So he's going to have to start his teleport at the same time NP begins killing Roche. There's no way he's going to make it in time. You saw in that last fight.